Hello, I'm Mike, and welcome to the most comprehensive AI orchestration course on the internet. I'll show you how to create AI agents, AI employees, and most importantly, get the best out of AI not just to replace humans, but also do jobs that humans could never do. This is relevant to you if you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, part of a marketing team, or frankly, any team with repetitive tasks, and you want to learn how to practically use AI to save you time and money, improve your efficiency, get more customers, gain a competitive edge, and the most important thing is no previous AI or coding experience is necessary to dive right in. I'm certain you will go from AI curious to AI confident and even have your very first AI employee working in your business. Let's get started using Zapier. Now, if you've never heard of it, it is the most connected AI orchestration platform with over 8,000 apps that you can connect to. It's really easy to use, it's beginner friendly, and that's why I'm featuring it in this course. Now, if you've never used it before, you can sign up for free with your email address. Simply type in your work email, first name, last name, and click Get Started for free. You'll be asked to create a secure password, and then you'll be taken through the onboarding. Once you're all set up for the first time, you'll see you have enabled a 14-day professional trial that gives you a few more features. But to start with, we're going to use this completely free tool called Agents from Zapier. Now, the best thing about Zapier Agents is it's free forever with a very, very generous plan. You can, of course, pay if you want more activities and as your business scales. But to start with, we're going to use Agents completely free. As you'll see, the way to get started is building with just simple English natural language. When we get started, you'll see there are some templates here for common business workflows, or you can create a custom agent, which is what we're going to do by using simple natural language to describe what you'd like to do. So we'll start with a very simple run-ready agent. This is more than a toy, this is a quick example of what agents can do and how easy they are to build. Every morning at 7 a.m., find the local weather for London. Then search the web and find a podcast released in the last week, either about cycling or technology or entrepreneurship, and finally come up with a motivational quote to encourage me to go for a run that day. Combine all this information together. Give me a very short headline on what I should wear based on the weather. For example, it's raining, make sure to wear a jacket. Pick out one podcast for me to listen to and round the email off with a motivational quote. And there we go. That's all I need to do to create my first agent. Prompt in natural language as I've done so there and click Create Agent. Now Zapier Agents will work away on generating instructions for my agent. And here is my very first agent. Now I can rename this if I like. I'll call this the Run Ready Agent. Now we can read the instructions. Every morning at 7, it's going to find the weather for London, find podcasts on the web, make a motivational quote, and then it's going to find a short headline for right clothing. It's going to find the podcast and combine that together with a motivational quote and send a combined message. And the expected outcome is a daily message sent containing weather-based clothing advice, a podcast, and a motivational quote. This is really good. Now you'll see by the trigger at the top, this is what triggers my agent to start because there are many different ways you can do that. You can start them manually or have them running when something happens or a time of day. So for me, I'm just going to make sure that I search for 7 a.m. and pop that in as my trigger. So now that is going to happen every day at 7. This agent will go to work for me. Next, I need to insert some tools, and Zapier has 8,000 plus of them. So at each step, we'll just click there on step 1 and we'll add a tool. Now here I can search for weather and you'll see there's a tool called Weather by Zapier. We'll click Get Current Weather. And if I like, I can go into the settings cog on this tool and change different things. So latitude and longitude, I will let the agent decide. And this is the best thing about creating an AI agent. They are autonomous and can make their own decisions. For units, I will decide that. I'll set a specific field value, and because I'm in London, I will set Celsius, because I don't want temperatures in Fahrenheit. Apart from that, that's my first tool configured. Now for the second step, we'll search the web. You'll notice when I click Insert Tools, we have either Visit Website or we can perform a Google search. In this case, I think I'll perform a Google search to find a latest podcast. Now, to generate a motivational quote, we can either just leave the agent to make that up, or we could insert a tool, but for ease of use on this agent, we'll leave that as is. Everything else should be good, but down here at step 7, I do want to use a tool to send the email, so I'll insert another tool, and we'll add the tool. And to get up and going quickly, rather than connecting our Gmail account, which we can do, I'll search for email, and there is actually a native tool called Email by Zapier. When I select that, it will have an action called Send Outbound Email. So I can send up to 5 emails per day on the free trial or Zapier trials, and then up to 10 emails per hour when I pay. This is perfect for my first use case, so that's now inserted as well. I can go into the setting cog on email and I can choose things. Now, I will, of course, choose the to, as it could send to someone random. So let's set a specific value and I'll type in my email address right here. The subject, I will let the agent decide. The text in the email, I will let the agent decide. Attachments, I don't want this. I don't want any attachments. So I'll say do not include attachments. From name, I can let the agent decide, and reply to, why not let the agent decide that? We can also scroll down and see lots of other ideas, but of course for all of this, we're just going to let our AI employee decide what to do. That's it. It's as simple as that to get up and running with your first AI agent. Now, I could wait until 7 a.m. to get my first email, but I'm kind of impatient and I want to check that this works. Well, you'll see over here, I can test my agent and see it working in real time. So let's click this Test Agent button right here and see what happens. First of all, it's noted the trigger's happening and it says let's start by checking the current weather in London to help with clothing advice. And you'll see it's done that. If I pop this open in real time, I can actually see that all of this information looks like code. We don't need that. The agent will interpret it. Now it's searched Google for a podcast. Now you'll notice up here there's an activity tab as well that I've clicked into. This will show you all activity of your agent. And of course, if you click over here, all activity, you'll be able to see all the activity all of your agents take when you create multiple AI agents. So you can see here, it sent my daily message to me, and the apps it's used are the email and weather app, and the status is complete. So everything is successful and looking good. Over here in my inbox, I can see my daily boost with weather, podcast, and motivation is available from my first AI employee. Here we go. We can see it says, "Good morning, Mike. It's overcast and cool today. Light jacket recommended." It's given me the Business of Cycling podcast. And look at that. What a fantastic, relevant show that I would listen to. And the motivational quote, "Every step forward is a step toward a stronger you." Have a fantastic day and enjoy your run. So there we go. Over here in all agents, you can see my very first agent, the Run Ready agent, is there and ready to execute. Now it's just recently run today, but now I can switch it on, meaning it's now activated, and every morning at 7 a.m., this agent will work on demand to motivate me for my run with a bit of weather advice, a podcast to listen to, and a motivational quote. Okay, it really is that easy to get AI orchestration working for you and your business. So let's actually get into some relevant business use cases that you can actually use to start increasing your productivity, saving time, and hopefully making you more money. We're going to start off with the Market Maven, a competitor monitor, an AI agent, your very first employee hire in the artificial intelligence world that will go out and automatically track your competitor activities and industry trends. So let's get into it. And to do this, to hire our brand new AI employee, we simply click New Agent. And again, we've got that "What would you like the agent to do?" describe in natural language. Now, it doesn't matter if you don't get this right to start with, you can always alter everything later on. Look for new items in the last 24 hours in an RSS feed and add the URL, title, and snippet to a Google Sheet. There we go, nothing complex there, just natural language, and we're generating the instructions here already. Now you'll see it's taken me to a set of instructions and that it's asking me to finish the setup for the two integrations here, RSS and Google Sheets. Now, RSS, if you've never used it before, is really simple. It actually stands for Really Simple Syndication. Most blogs use it, and I can finish the setup. It's simply going to ask me for a feed URL. So how do I get this? Well, I'll go to my own audio production company, Music Radio Creative, where we always post blog posts on the latest in audio, podcasting, and sounding great. Now you'll see here, I can click into a blog post and see it instantly here, but usually the way to get a blog or the RSS, that is what you'll need, is to simply type feed on the end of the URL. And look at this, a load of XML, but don't worry about that. Just copy this URL with Control or Command C, and then go to your RSS setup, Control or Command V. Save that, and you've connected your RSS feed. Now, as we're monitoring my company here, we'll call this agent something different. Watch:MRC, which is short for Music Radio Creative. Now we need to finish setup on Google Sheets, and we need to connect an account. Boom, it was that simple. And you'll see over here in this folder, I've got a sheet called Competitor Monitor, and I've got URL, title, and snippet as my column headings here. So now back over here, I simply set a specific value for the spreadsheet. Should pop up first, yep, Competitor Monitor. And for the worksheet, we'll set a value, and that is going to be Sheet 1. We can leave everything else as is, click Save, and now we're pretty much set for a first initial run on watching Music Radio Creative. So let's go ahead and test the behavior of my agent. And indeed, it's looking for new items. It's found something. Now in test mode, I need to approve. When it runs autonomously, I won't. It will do it automatically. Click Approve, go back and watch here. There we go. Very, very simple. We've got the URL here direct to the blog post. We've got the title of the blog, and we've got a little snippet that tells us all about what's in the blog. So this is great. This agent is running as expected, so I'll give it a thumbs up to say, yes, it's working. I can also provide feedback if needed, but this is all good. I'll now enable this agent, and it will run every time a new blog post goes on the site instantly. That's our first Competitor Monitor agent set up. Now I can set up a new agent, but rather than typing out the instructions or speaking them all over again, I'll click the 3 dots here on the Watch:MRC agent, and I can duplicate the agent. So let's do so. And now we'll see Watch:MRC copy. Well, you'll actually change this to the new competitor, and I'm going to type in here Radio Today. And you'll see over here on their Instagram, they've got all kinds of insights and updates useful to the radio and audio industry. So definitely something perfect to monitor with my competitor analysis. But how do I get an RSS feed from Instagram? That's not exactly easy. I can't put /feed on the end here and get the feed. No, it doesn't work. This is where a really cool tool comes in called RSS.app. I'm going to get started now with it, and you'll see here it can turn pretty much anything into an RSS feed that isn't an RSS feed. So if you find a web page that doesn't have one baked in, you can create it. Instagram is here, X is here, pretty much every social network and every tool and site you can imagine works here. And it's as simple as copying the URL to the Instagram account you want to watch and pasting it into RSS app. So there we go, Instagram.com/radio today, generate, it's working on the feed. Boom, look at that. Now all those Instagram posts nicely created into an RSS feed. Wait, but I can't copy this feed because I need to sign up for an account. So let's do that. For ease this time, I'll connect with my Google. And boom, there is my feed URL. Now you'll want to switch this over to XML as that's what most RSS feeds come in. So we'll copy that link, and that's copied. Now, RSS app does have a generous free plan, but if you're using this quite excessively, you might want to consider upgrading. Let's go back to my Radio Today monitor, and for the new item in feed, we'll just change this from the Music Radio Creative blog feed to my new generated RSS feed for Radio Today's Instagram. We'll click Save, and we'll leave everything else as is, and we'll test the agent again. Okay, it's found some more stuff. It's going to add it to my Google Sheet. It's preparing to do so. Now it's given me the full insight of what it wants to do. Again, in this test zone, I will approve it, and we'll head over to my competitor monitor. Wow, okay, that didn't take long. Now we've got a title for the post, and we've even got the full story here, plus a direct link to go back to Instagram and view that story perfectly there. How fantastic is that? And you'll see over here, my agent says it has success, all is good, so we'll tick this and switch it on. Okay, great. Let's go back to all agents, and you'll notice here as I'm building my competitor monitor team here, it's getting a bit messy, and you can imagine having loads of agents and getting lost in all of your AI employees you've created. Well, don't worry. Zapier Agents has an answer to that. You create a pod, and essentially a pod is like a team in your business. So you click New Pod, and you give it a name. This pod we'll call Competitor Analysis. And now I can click the 3 dots and click Add to Pod, and we'll select Competitor Analysis on both of these. And now you'll see they get the C for the fact that they're in the competitor analysis pod. And we can click here and see only our competitor analysis agents that are running and also the pod activity, which is good to see. Everything is successful, the apps have been used, and the status is complete. Now, if we ever get an error with an agent, we will get needs action or failed or cancelled. So we really can keep a fine-grained view on all of our AI employees. Well, we're on a roll here, so let's duplicate this one again. And you'll see it's already been added to the competitor analysis pod, and we'll say watch 11 labs. This will be our final watch. And again, all we need to do here is update the RSS feed. And I want to watch everything that 11 Labs is posting here on X. This would be super handy to me. And again, you can't generate RSS feeds of X, but you can copy the URL to their X account, go over to the rss.app, enter the URL, click generate. It's done. Fantastic. Now we've got all of 11 Labs X posts in a nice RSS feed. We can save this to my feeds and look at that. We get an XML feed that I can copy, go back over here, paste, save, and it's as simple as testing the agent. We'll just go ahead and approve, watch the spreadsheet for an update. There we go. There is the X status that has been retweeted by 11 Labs, and there is the exact contents of the post. Very, very cool stuff, all done within an instant. And of course, we can remember to enable this agent, go back to our competitor analysis pod, and now you'll see we have 3 competitor analysis pods working away. These employees are watching like hawks. X for 11 Labs, Instagram for Radio Today, and the blog of Music Radio Creative. Okay, that's great. So we've got 3 mini AI employees watching competitors for us, but how do we bring it all together? Now I'm going to add a final new agent, and this one's going to bring it all together. It's going to give me a daily briefing from everything that my agents found over the last 24 hours. So again, in natural language, what would I like the agent to do? Every day at 8 a.m., review new entries in the Competitor Monitor Google Sheet from the last 24 hours. For each URL, visit it using the Visit Website tool, identify mentions of new products, services, or significant announcements, then compile a daily briefing and send it to me via Slack with the 3 to 5 most important updates. And that's all we need to get started. We just click Create Agent and Zapier will do the rest. Boom, you'll see I'm already connected to Google Sheets. Now I just need to connect to Slack. This is easy. Zapier would like to connect to Slack. Yes, allow. Okay, with all of my apps connected, which is something Zapier does so well, create. Now, the only thing I need to do to finish the setup is actually tell it what time every day. And here, I think I'll get an executive summary at 8 a.m. That's done, and I feel confident about everything here. I'm not even going to look at the settings. I'll just test the agent. Okay, so the trigger is every day at 8 a.m. To get started, could I provide the name of the Google Sheet? That's interesting. Now, because I was so confident, I didn't go ahead and set up what sheet it should look at. So let's let it know. The sheet name is Competitor Monitor, and the worksheet is Sheet 1. Okay, we just tell in natural language our agent what it needs to look at. And the best thing is, when we tell that, it will update the information here in the Google Sheets integration. It says, thank you very much. Could you please let me know which column in your sheet contains the date or timestamp for each entry? This will help me find only new entries from the last 24 hours. We didn't do that, so I'll just say, there are no timestamps. Now it's being really smart and saying, well, how would you like me to tell if something is from the last 24 hours? Now, if we thought about this when we set up our other 3 agents, we'd get them to add dates. And we can do that retrospectively if we like. But for simplicity here, I'm just going to say, no worries, just pick the latest 3 additions. And now it's working on getting the latest 3 entries. Obviously, a better way would be to date mark those entries, but for this example, this is going to work perfectly. You can actually see it's had some technical difficulties this time. We can retry again. And if we look at the activity for this agent, you'll actually see the status is failed. This would appear in our inbox. If we look at all activity, we can see while some agents have completed their tasks, this one has failed, and that gives us a good bird's eye view of all our AI employees. But no worries, let's go back to our daily competitor update briefing, and we'll just simply click retest and hope that this time it works. Always pick the latest 3 rows. You'll notice over here it saves some feedback. Agents are self-updating, and now we can see instead of 24 hours, it's asking for the latest 3 rows from my Google Sheets in the instructions. Now, before I retest this agent where it says visit website at specified URL, I'm actually going to put in a tool here and we'll use the visit website tool as my Zapier agent can actually reach out directly to websites. And let's click retest. It's interesting to note that the lookup spreadsheet rows tool is consistently having problems. So I'm actually going to go ahead and swap this out with a new tool called Get Many Spreadsheet Rows instead. And we can customize this. We can specify specifically the actual sheet and worksheet that we're going to be using so the agent doesn't get confused. For columns, row count, and everything else, we'll leave that the same. And now, hopefully, with a new way of calling this tool, our agent should be able to do its job. Okay, it's starting by receiving the many spreadsheet rows. It seems to have done that perfectly, and you can see that those rows have all been called in. Look at that. That's all the code text there. And now it's actually loading the blog here, and it's browsed the website. Now, what's really cool here is it's got a screenshot of the website. You can visit it yourself, or you can actually click to see the screenshot of the blog that the agent visited. That is super cool that Zapier agents have the ability to browse all different websites. Interestingly, it can't access all websites. Places like Instagram and X actually block the Zapier agent, but for most blog posts, you can read stuff in full. Now it's preparing to send a direct message to me on Slack with my executive summary. And notice the agent has fallen back to using info from the spreadsheet, so we won't get a null result, we will get some information. It's given me a preview here. It said it's sending to me, Mike, and it's got all of the details there. So I'll just approve it, head over to Slack, and look, Zapier has sent me a message. Look at this. How cool is this for my executive summary? Music Radio Creative published a new guide. The global audiobook market is growing. Key advice on choosing between humans and AI, and Music Radio Creative positioning itself as a premium provider. Edge Media Group hiring a new radio presenter, and 11 Labs product teams launching a major new update called Conversational AI 2.0. This is super competitive analysis to me, presented as a daily executive summary in my Slack DMs, all orchestrated using the AI orchestration that Zapier Agents allows. This is really cool stuff. I have 3 mini agents that go out and search different sites, different social media, different blogs, and 1 AI agent that DMs me daily on Slack with my updates. Now, of course, I can set up an unlimited number of agents to monitor all of my competitors on all of their platforms and bring it all into one nice summary. That's the power of competitor analysis using Zapier Agents. We'll make sure that daily competitor update briefing is switched on so I get all of my updates on a daily basis. Now, another cool thing is Zapier has so many integrations and lots of social media platforms are already included. For instance, I've created a YouTube watch because I can add a trigger and I can actually type in YouTube. YouTube is included here, and I can say new video in channel. Now, for the channel, I can place in a channel ID. That's really easy to get from any channel. You just click more in the description, scroll all the way down, go for share channel, and copy the channel ID. Go back to the agent you're creating, paste it in, and save. I'll keep the instructions really simple. Summarize what the latest video from this creator is about. We'll test the agent, and look at this. It got back to me and said it's about autopilot on Instagram, and it demonstrates how to automate Instagram content with Zapier and Airtable and GPT-4o. This is all really good stuff. A very quick summary, which I could either send to myself again via a Slack DM or maybe a push notification on my phone. This works incredibly well. Let's actually include that push notification so I get urgent updates whenever there's a video on this channel. Send a short 1-sentence summary via push notification to my phone. Okay, because I'm creating this agent myself and I didn't use the generator at the start, I need to manually insert tools. And I've actually got a tool for this. I'm actually going to add a tool. It's a tool here called Pushover, and it will actually notify my iPhone. Send a pushover notification is what I need here. So you see it's already connected to my pushover account. Title, message, in fact, everything we can let the agent decide. So I'm not going to touch anything there. I'm just simply connecting it as a tool. Let's enable the agent, and just for good measure, let's retest and see if I get a push notification. And look at that. There we go. Zapier sent a push notification to my phone. Now, this here is called a Zap. This is a linear workflow that uses different tools in order to achieve an outcome. So for instance, this will watch my YouTube channel, Creator Magic, and I've made a separate video all about this workflow if you want to dive deep on YouTube competitor monitoring. And essentially it will fetch the stats, log them to a Google Sheet, wait for 6 hours, look back at the stats, and then log them again to a Google Sheet, looking for outlier videos. If the video is trending, meaning it's getting more views than usual for that particular channel, it will go through, fetch a transcript, summarize it with OpenAI's ChatGPT, and notify me via email of the trending video. But there's a way I can further go ahead and enhance this with an AI agent. Here is my AI agent watch Creator Magic YouTube, and as another step, if I edit this Zap here, if I edit the Zap as another step at the final little point here, just after sending Gmail, I can actually go ahead and call a Zapier agent. Now, this is definitely an advanced function, but you can get lots more by creating Zaps and connecting them to agents. So here we go. Now we choose our event, we run an agent. I've chosen the agent watch Creator Magic YouTube, and for my agent input message, I'll say, send me a Slack DM with all the info on this trending video. And then a colon, a new line, we'll do /, and we'll pull in the output from ChatGPT in this automation. If I scroll down, you'll actually see the reply is here. This basically contains all of the information on why the particular video is trending. Now, for this to fully work, we'll actually change the trigger here by replacing the trigger and saying trigger via Zap. And for the instructions, we'll completely rewrite, send me a Slack DM with the details you receive. And then we simply connect the Slack tool by searching for it, add tool, Slack, and we're sending a direct message. With that all done, I can continue and I can test this step and double check what's going to come in here. And look, it's already here. Mike shares his experience using cutting-edge AI tools like Claude 4 to rapidly rebuild his app. Okay, this is all really cool, but what about chatting with a custom AI employee that keeps an eye on all your competitors' moves? Let's set up that AI agent. Your purpose is to have a conversation with me about the latest trends in my industry. And there we go, industry trend chatbot is ready. But first of all, we need to connect a tool. And for this, we're actually going to add a tool. Now, you'll see here that there are popular apps listed. Previously, we've been going through and searching for an app that we need, like YouTube, and it comes up on the screen, or we just click search 7,000 plus apps and find what we need. But you'll see some apps here actually have this kind of lightning bolt sheet, which says optimized for AI search. If we go ahead and add this, we can actually AI search, essentially search over all the data that's stored there. And for the option on Google Sheets, I'm going to say data integration. Then we select our spreadsheet and it will be the competitor monitor spreadsheet. Sheet 1 is automatically selected and we'll add it as a data source. And now you'll see it's syncing all the data from my sheet. Now, if I had a really large sheet, this might take a little while, but this shouldn't take too long. And now you'll see all of the data from that Google Sheet is synced and will stay in sync continuously, meaning this is something that I can actually chat with. It's an AI employee I can chat to get the latest intel. I will need to add a trigger, and this one will be on demand, as I'll use this agent as and when I need to. Let's test the agent. It says I'll start by reviewing the data, which is a great start. And already it's thinking about the summary it might add. You see already it's fetched all the information from all the rows here that are listed perfectly. And now it's going ahead and analyzing this sheet. It's probably going to give me an executive summary to start with. Okay, it seems to have analyzed and thought out loud and executed a bit of Python code, which is really cool, all under the hood. Wow. Okay, this is cool. Here's a short summary. Strong focus on creative content, audiobook narrators included, changes in radio, and stuff with Claude 4 and 11 Labs. This is really excellent stuff, but let's be specific. What did 11 Labs announce this week? And this is where it can directly pull information from this week in the Google Sheet. Okay, this is cool. It's already searching by row. This is really great the way it's doing it using code. We don't need any code. We just need an AI agent. And boom, look at that. My agent is straight back saying they announced a wave of launches, including Conversational AI 2.0. Excellent stuff. I love this. What topics have been spoken about on YouTube? Let's be very specific and get my agent to look at that competitive analysis again to see what all the YouTube chatter has been about this week. And again, it's correctly summarized that on YouTube, according to your sheet, tools like Claude 4 to quickly rebuild apps have been the chatter. Now, obviously, this is correct. It's pulled in my Claude 4 rebuild video right here into the sheet. Now, imagine how powerful that AI agent could be if you had a week's worth of videos recorded in that Google Sheet from all of your various competitors. I don't need to tell you how powerful that is. That's competitor analysis inside Zapier Agents. Go ahead and employ multiple agents that can go out and do the work for you. Next, I'm going to create a whole new department in my AI employee division, and I'm going to do that by creating a new pod. This will be my sales department, and I'm going to go ahead and skip adding agents because I'm going to start from fresh. Now, for the sales department, I'm going to have a lead llama. Now, this is a problem that many businesses have. We have a bunch of leads coming in, but how do we know what's hot, warm, and cold? Well, this is going to be a department that will use agents to categorize all my leads and tell me what I should be looking at first. So let's add an agent. Before I set this up, let me show you the problem for me as a YouTuber. If I go here and go to my YouTube leads box, you'll see here I've got a bunch of emails with no categorization, and I get a lot of them every single day. So it would be great to have AI agents to tell me which ones I should be taking action on and those that I can ignore or send into a cold funnel. So let's set up my custom agent. I am a YouTuber that talks about AI tools, AI coding, AI automation, and AI orchestration. When a new email arrives that seems like a potential collaboration or business inquiry, extract the sender's name and company, perform a Google search for them to find their website or LinkedIn. If something like this is found, visit and understand their business and role. Based on the email content and the type of content I create, categorize this lead as hot, warm, or cold, and add a label to the email that says hot, warm, or cold. Okay, with that natural language prompt created, let's make the agent and see what happens. Now, of course, first of all, I'll need to connect to my Gmail account for the first time. And once that's done, we can go ahead and create the agent. Okay, you'll see the trigger is Gmail new email. Now, I'm actually going to show all the options on this trigger and actually just show my YouTube leads label, because this is the only single label that I want to look at. I don't want to look at all my emails, just the YouTube leads coming into my email for that purpose. With that done, we'll look over the instructions. Yep, get the name and company. Google search, if relevant, look at the results based on email content, see if it is appropriate to my AI tools, coding, automation, and AI orchestration. Determine if hot, warm, or cold. Add label hot, warm, or cold. Perfect. This is exactly what I want. I'm just going to insert some tools. So for step 2, I want to be specific and say Google search should be the tool. And then for step 3, I want to make sure it's got access to visit websites. And finally, for step 5, I definitely want to connect up the Gmail tool and click add label to email. And now this agent should be good to go. Now, I've no idea if this will work on the first run, but let's test and see what happens. Okay, we can see here already it's found a latest email asking for collaboration, saying it loves my YouTube content. It's actually now searching this company's website to find out more about the company that's emailed me. You'll see initially here it performed a Google search to find multiple pages. It's done some web browsing, and it says, I confirm this is a relevant business inquiry from Fabric about an affiliate partnership in the AI tool space. So I'm going to categorize it. It's trying to add a label to the email. Now, actually, we'll see here that I haven't set up the labels in my Gmail, so it's just said I'm going to add it to payments and referrals label, which obviously is not optimal, so I'm not going to approve it. I'll actually go into Gmail now and set up these labels as sublabels, so add sublabel. We'll call this one hot, and then we'll add another label, warm, and one more, cold. And if we like to be super on it, we can actually choose a label color, so we'll make that freezing cold. We'll make this one super hot, and we'll make this label warm. There we go, hot, cold, and warm, all ready to go. So now we'll simply go back to the agent and retest. Boom, and that seemed to work. We've got someone here with a warm label on them that's been added by my AI agent. I don't need to tell you how powerful that is. You can definitely see the potential. Let's go ahead and do this on more of my emails so we can move on to the next step in my sales and lead qualification process. Okay, I've said apply to my most recent 20 emails. It wants to know if I should use hot, warm, or cold, and it's going ahead, saving the feedback, and now going to add labels to my 20 emails. And wow, this is incredible. Look at this. I've got warm leads. All of these that I don't need to pay attention to are cold, either spam or just not required. And I've even got one hot lead here that I can process too. I just wanted to show you here in my agent activity when an agent needs action. If it can't do something, like for instance, it was having trouble with email labels earlier on, it will come up and say needs action. You can actually click into an earlier chat here and actually go ahead and approve what it wants to do or reply to it and say, no, don't add payments referrals, use the hot, warm, or cold labels. So you'll see here, your agents will always keep you as the human in the loop on what they're up to. Now I'm going to go ahead and add 3 more agents for hot, warm, and cold to do different things. Let's start by creating a new agent for my hot leads. When the Gmail label YouTube leads hot is added, please send me the email via Slack immediately. And you can see it already intelligently knows it should use Gmail and Slack. Let's create. This all looks good. I'm just going to finish the setup on the new labeled email, and we'll go to inbox and we'll type hot here. There it is. Save, and everything looks pretty good. This is an easy one to do. I might rename the agent as well. And let's test this agent to see how it would work. Okay, it's found one of my hot emails and now it's sending me a Slack message. Boom, I've got a message here. Over here in Slack, I've just received a direct message, funnily enough, from myself, but it's sending the body of the email and everything I asked for, and I can actually click to view this email in my Gmail account and immediately reply as the human in the loop. As a hot lead, this is exactly what I'd want to do. I wouldn't want an AI employee automatically replying to a hot lead, but of course we can do different things with warm emails. Let's go back to my sales department and make sure my current AI employees here are enabled. And what we'll do is we'll actually go ahead and duplicate this YouTube leads hot and change it slightly. Okay, so this is going to be YouTube leads warm. And we need to make sure it's when the label is warm. So we'll again change this here, search for warm. There it is, save. Now for step 2, rather than send me a direct message for a warm lead, I'm simply going to say this. Create a draft reply, thanking them for their interest and saying that I'm keen to hear more about how we could possibly work together. Okay, with that instruction created, I'll just insert a Gmail tool here and we'll select Create Draft. So now when I get a warm lead, it's going to retrieve the details and my agent will automatically form a draft for me, saving me time. For warm leads, I want this to happen. So we'll simply test the behavior of my Gmail, and it's finding an email that's labeled warm, and it's preparing a draft reply, and it's creating that draft. Now we can see it's making a draft reply to the paid business inquiry from Minimax, so let's approve. Okay, it's really cool that it's created and sent the draft. We can see that's all been done and added to the thread. I'll actually enable this so it can work in the future. We'll go to my inbox. You'll see actually new inquiries are coming in all the time and my agents are doing their job and categorizing the cold stuff and keeping the good stuff. Now, this is the one from Minimax that apparently my agent has drafted a reply to. And look at that, straight away, I'm put straight into this draft reply. Hi, Emily. Thank you so much for reaching out and your interest in collaborating with me. I appreciate you sharing the details about Minimax and your kind words about my AI video content. I'm definitely interested in exploring how we can work together to promote Minimax's AI solutions. Please let me know any additional information you need from my side, and I'd be happy to discuss rates and scheduling further. Looking forward to hearing from you. Best regards, Mike. That is actually really cool. Now, if I want to inform my agent further, I could actually add into the instructions my typical rates or the typical way that I would respond to a warm lead so I can get an even better email back initially and save time of going back and forward. So tell me your rates. So when can you do this? What are timelines, etc. There's no limit really to the amount of data I can feed my agent on how I work with sponsors. It can really save me time on the warm leads and obviously ping me those hot leads on Slack urgently. And obviously, if I want to, I can insert a tool and I can actually add a tool and I can upload something like a CSV or PDF. So if I have a PDF document with all of my rates and how I usually work with sponsors, I can go into this option here and I can actually click to upload a file with all of my rates and all of the typical ways that I work. So there's no limit to how much information you can actually give your AI agents here inside Zapier. Okay, so we've got my collab categorizer, we've got my hot lead agent, we've got my warm lead agent. Let's get one more agent. And again, I'm going to duplicate for those cold leads. This will be a really easy one, a no-brainer one. We'll just make sure we change all of the variables here to say cold. And of course, the trigger to be the cold leads label. There we go. Save. And we only need one step for this, and that's simply archive this email. And we'll insert the Gmail tool. We'll search through for archive an email. Boom, super easy. We can go ahead and test this agent on all our cold leads. And now my agent is working away. Watch this. That's so much better. All of my cold leads disappeared from view, and now I'm just left with the warm and hot leads. Thanks to my AI employees. This is fantastic AI orchestration from Zapier Agents in order to lead qualify everything that comes into my YouTube channel via the address that's public out there on the channel details. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about my sales department. It knows exactly how to categorize my incoming stuff and then deal with hot, warm, and cold leads. Now you can see my team of AI employees is really growing, and I've got a lot of stuff that I've automated away, which will save me time and money. Now I'll go ahead and create a new pod, and this will be my marketing department. Again, I'm skipping adding any agents, and I'm starting again from scratch. Okay, I get it. Social media can be time-consuming, it can be hard to be consistent, and it can be difficult to create engaging content, particularly if your main business is actually serving customers and not sitting behind a computer and posting to social media. So wouldn't it be great if you could create a marketing department that work on automation to promote whatever it is you're doing? In this example, I'm going to use property. Let me show you how this will work, and I'm going to set something up from scratch, start to finish in this section, so you can see exactly how it could work in your business. First of all, I'm going to go to Facebook and create a public page for my business. Simply click Get Started. Now we'll give it some basic details. Isle of Wight property. Real estate. Okay, that's looking pretty good to start with. Let's create the page. We'll add in profile and background pictures. Okay, with this beautiful page now set up with 0 likes and 0 followers, let's start building it up as a business. And this is where I'll create a new agent. Every day, visit this website and get the latest 3 properties. Look at Zapier table and make sure these properties are unique and not already listed there. For each new listing you find, extract the property type, e.g. house or flat, price, number of bedrooms, a key feature, description, and direct URL to the property. Then add all of this info to the table. Okay, that should be enough to be going with for our first AI employee that's going to work on our social media. Okay, you'll see a first pass at this is already there, and that's fantastic. Now I'll grab the search URL for a local Isle of Wight property site with some listings here. This is perfect. So let's place that where it says, please provide URL. Absolutely brilliant. Extract the details for each property listing. Okay, this is where we need to introduce Zapier tables. So let's go ahead and add that in. And you'll see it here, Zapier tables. And we'll click Find Records. Step 5 looks good. Step 6 will add the row of the new property. So again, adding a Zapier table integration here. And this time we want to create a record. And the expected outcome is that Isle of Wight Properties is updated daily with new unique property listings from the website. Now for step 1, let's make sure we insert the Visit Website tool so it knows to do that. And now this is looking pretty good. We can go into the settings cog on our Zapier tables. Now you'll see we haven't created a Zapier table yet, so we should probably do that. To do this, I'll go to my main Zapier account, create tables. We'll call it Isle of Wight Properties. No description needed. Okay, great. Here it is. I'm just going to label some fields. And here we have it. Type, price, beds, key feature, description, and URL. Ready for my AI agent to populate, so let's go back over here. Okay, this is looking good. Now I can get this to run first thing in the morning, say at 6 a.m. before business starts, and save. Now it looks like my AI agent is ready to go ahead and start populating my Zapier table with new properties found for the day. So let's go ahead and test. It should first of all go ahead and browse to this website to find new properties. And seeing as we've never added any properties, it should find 3 brand new properties to add to my table. Okay, web browsing is complete. We can see from the screenshot, indeed, it did visit the website. This is great. And now it's working on the Zapier table. Okay, this is great. It's already got a lookup value that it's trying to check in the table to see if that URL exists. It's done that. Now it's checking the third and final property to make sure that doesn't exist. Boom, all is done. The properties are not yet in your table. I will now add their details as new records. And my agent, again, is working away autonomously, or at least in testing mode, me approving it. But it's going ahead and creating records. And if we go over here, we should see in real time, yes, we've got those tables being populated. This is great. Second property is about to get added here. Let's approve it. And boom, we've got a semi-detached cottage going on. Very, very nice indeed. Let's get rid of that first row because we don't need it. So delete that record. Now we've got something nice and tidy. And finally, we'll approve that third property and get that added in here to our sheet. Okay, really cool. So everything it found, all the new properties it found just added to the website. Everything is there. It's created an AI key feature here for each property, which can be used. Lovely. Really like this. One thing I noticed that my agent didn't do, and you will need to look after these agents when you first set them up, there are no descriptions added here. It's missed those out. So let's make sure our agent knows. This is absolutely brilliant. All details there, but you didn't fill out the details column in the table. Please fix this and make sure it always happens. Okay, that should be enough for my agent to understand that it made a mistake. It will save the feedback to the instructions, so you'll see this update, and it should add just down here at the bottom of the instructions. Boom, it says always fill out the details column in the Isle of Wight properties table. Okay, enable, this has all been done to my heart's content. Descriptions now populated. This is great. So I've got a daily property listing updater. It's looking for new properties ready to promote on my social media account that I've set up over here. So now we've got the table populating with new properties each day. I want to get another AI employee to make a good social media post for everything that goes live on the website. And for this, inside the marketing department, we'll add an agent, create a new agent. When my Zapier table is updated, please create an engaging social media post for a Facebook page to promote the property. Keep it as simple as that and create the agent. Now we need to connect my Facebook page. Save and done. Great, this is all done. Don't really like the name of the agent, so I'm going to call it Social Sultan. There we go, perfect. So, okay, Zapier tables, new or updated record. Of course, we need to make sure it's connected to my Isle of Wight properties table. Okay, this now looks good. Get the property details from the Zapier table row, create an engaging social media post, post the content to the Facebook page. Yes, this all looks good. Let's give it a go and see if it actually works. Okay, it's looking for a new record. It seems to have found a record here. Okay, it's interesting. It says no property details have changed, as of course these rows have already been created. So I'll say just post the latest added property to Facebook. And let's see what my agent does here. Okay, already it's preparing to create a page post. And look at this, page Isle of Wight property, new to market, immaculate 3-bedroom. Wow, key features, it's giving all of the details. Find out more with a link to the website. This is actually really, really cool stuff. I'm going to approve that to see how it looks. And while it's working on creating the page post, we'll just enable this agent as well. Boom, we got a tick there. So let's go to Facebook. And look at this. Wow, new to market. And there's the post. Fantastic. And then the find out more links straight to a beautiful page here with an image. This is looking absolutely incredible. I really like how easy it makes to automate my social media. Something I might not be doing in my business anyway is now done by an AI employee, all using the fantastic AI orchestration that Zapier allows us to do. Now, this is absolutely fantastic and I love it, but sometimes the Facebook algorithm doesn't love it when you make a post with a link. So it would be nicer to just post this with, say, a photo of the property and then post as the first comment, maybe after a period of time, a link to check out the property. This would be a great way to manage your social media and get maximum impact from posting to a Facebook page. Now, if we actually look at the Facebook pages integration here from Zapier, and you'll actually scroll down and see the actions that it can perform are change your profile photo, post page insights, create a video, a photo, or a post, but there's no ability here to comment. Now, this is where there can be some edge cases, and of course, we'll talk about this in way more detail in my course that's linked up down below. But you can use other tools to do those little 5% tasks that Zapier can't handle. So for instance, Make allows you to also connect to Facebook pages, and they have actions here such as create a comment. So what you could do is you could set up a watch on Make every time there is a new property post, wait for 2 or 3 minutes, maybe even an hour, and then eventually comment on the post with the link to the listing. So you'll see my marketing department is pretty good and completing its tasks nicely by grabbing the latest properties from the estate agent or real estate website, and the social sultan is actually going ahead and posting those properties to a Facebook page and keeping people nicely engaged and up to date with what's out there. Okay, so we have achieved plenty already. I think we've done so well. A marketing department, a sales department, and competitor analysis all on automation with our AI employees. But there is one more thing, and it's the front-facing thing for many businesses, many entrepreneurs, many marketing teams out there, and that is customer service, customer success. That's right, serving customers with what they want and when they need it. And there's an answer for that too, also included inside Zapier. Now for this, we won't be using agents. We'll actually go back to Zapier and we'll create a chatbot. I'm going to call it customer service and create. Okay, boom. Now you'll see we get straight into this interface where we can configure the chatbot and change different things. So we've got greeting, static or generated. Let's actually create a generated greeting. You are a friendly Isle of Wight property finder, and you will do your best to assist people in this way. Let's save those changes and restart the chat. Okay, that intro is way too long. Keep your intro very short, 5 or 6 words. This is where prompt engineering comes in. Your friendly Isle of Wight property finder. How can I help you today? I like this. This is definitely more like it. Now for the directive, we've already got some indications on objective, style, and other rules. I'm actually going to copy this. And inside ChatGPT, I'm just going to say, rewrite these instructions for an Isle of Wight property finder chatbot. And then we'll paste those instructions in. Okay, this is really cool. It's given me everything I need. I'm just going to copy that, go back to my chatbot over here and paste that all in there. So it's got it. Let's save. Your friendly Isle of Wight property finder. Love it. Okay, this is great, but let's just see if it works at present. Can you find me a nice property? Okay, it's asking me some questions. I'm looking for a 1-bedroom flat, please. I've got £500,000 and I want to buy in cows. Okay, that's really interesting. It has hallucinated those results presently. Let's open and see if anything happens. No, it's just completely hallucinated those results. Well, that's because we haven't gone to the next step, which is knowledge, and we need to connect a knowledge source. So let's add our first knowledge source, and you'll see we can pull direct from a website. So if we wanted to go to our properties for sale website here, we could just paste this link in and use that as a knowledge source. That's perfectly fine. We can use a file or we can use a table. And of course, I created that table. In fact, I didn't. My AI agents did. So let's actually draw directly from that source. You'll see it can pull in up to 10,000 rows, which should be more than enough for the knowledge of this particular chatbot. So it's now training that knowledge source in. Okay, when answers are not found within your knowledge sources, what do you want to do? Generate an AI response without knowledge sources or show a custom message? And I think generate an AI response without knowledge sources will be perfect. So we'll save. And now that's done, we can see it's all synced up to our chatbot and working. Let's check what we've got here. We've got a house with annex, we've got bungalow, we've got a semi-detached. Perfect. We've got a bungalow here in Shanklin. So let's see if our chatbot can help us find that. We'll go back to the test and we'll ask it anything. Can you help me find a bungalow, please? Shanklin, if pos. And let's see if it draws on its data. Great news, a lovely bungalow in Shanklin for you. And there it is, 499 and 2 bedrooms, sought after position. View the property here. Now, if I click this, boom, it takes me straight to the property site with the correct property. This is working perfectly. I love this. And this took me literally just a couple of minutes to set up so far. Let's check the data is correct, 499, and in the table, indeed it is 499 with 2 bedrooms. So nothing is hallucinated. What if I say, I'd like a spacious penthouse in Cows, please. And let's see if it hallucinates or tells me it can't find it. I'm sorry, but it looks like I couldn't find listings for a spacious penthouse in Cows at the moment. If you have specific features in mind, do you have anything that would work? Let's see if it retains memory. Unfortunately, there are currently no listings for a spacious penthouse in Cows. However, there are alternatives like semi-detached cottage in Ryde, a house with an annex in Wooden Bridge. Excellent. And it didn't pull in the bungalow, which is cool because that's probably not appropriate to a penthouse purchaser, but it's found some pretty nice properties anyway, so it's using intelligence and AI to find exactly what is needed. So easy to make something for your business here, right inside Zapier, using agents to gather the data and chatbots to serve your customer. This is great. And if we scroll down, we can actually see the AI model that's being used. Now, you don't need to worry about this. GPT-4o Mini is pretty good, and I would stick with that as your main chatbot model. So we've worked on the instructions, we've locked it into knowledge so it no longer hallucinates. We can look at the logic panel. Now this is where we can add some advanced stuff, we can run automations and bits like that, but actually collecting leads from a business point of view would be a really good idea. So let's click to collect leads and we'll say at the beginning of the conversation, and let's ask it for some stuff. Now, I think the less amount of data we can ask for, the better. So let's get rid of phone number and company. You and your business may want to keep them, but I'll just ask for a name and email. Ask for all the information at once. This sounds really good. And then it's an easy way to get lead gen straight into our business when people are talking to our chatbot. And you can see customer service collected data is a new Zapier table that was created. It's collecting leads into that Zapier table. Very cool stuff. So now when we start a new chat, we can say, I am looking for a bungalow. And it shouldn't answer me straight away. I'd be happy to help you find your bungalow. Before we continue, may I ask for your name and email? And then we'll give the email as well and see if that works. Okay, this is working. Anything will do. And again, it's found our lovely bungalow in Shanklin with a link to the property. Also, a house with an annex seems to be appropriate as well. That's all done. And over here in my customer service collected data, it's got the chatbot session ID, my name and email recorded. A great way of generating leads for your business. So we've looked at chatbot instructions, knowledge, logic. Let's look at the theme. Now we can, of course, insert our company logo, an avatar image. We can choose icons, shape, and of course we can make it square if we want, or rounded square, whatever works for our particular brand. We can change the rounding on the square like that. And the best thing is we can add custom colors. So if we want to make it fit with the theme of our website here, we can add a custom color and say, dial it down to a nice, classy kind of gray there. That looks good. Okay. We'll save the changes. Maybe we'll make the theme dark. Okay, this is looking really great. Now we can go to integrations. If we want, we can also reply to messages on Slack, Facebook Messenger, Gmail, Zendesk ticketing system, and even build a custom Zap. And this is something advanced that I would cover in my online course. If you're interested in that, we can go into further details in these integrations. But essentially, wherever your customers are, your chatbot can be there too. We'll go into settings and we can obviously customize the creativity and responses and other bits about this. We can also change the subdomain, so we can call this iow.zapier.app. That seems pretty cool. Save it. Now I can obviously click this public link and it will take me straight to the public chatbot page here, which is great. Find me something in Ryde. Now, if we go into conversations, you'll see Find Me Something in Ryde. We can see the full history of what happened here in the chat, which is really cool. And analytics should update to say there was 1 conversation, 5 messages, and it will also show if URLs were clicked. And over time, you can imagine how these statistics will populate with how your chatbot is being used. So this is really cool. We've got a public link that we can just share on our website, or if we want to get technical, we can click embed and it will actually give us this code that we can paste into our website or include as an iframe. Now, don't worry if you're not familiar or happy using code. I do show you how to use AI coding tools to take the 80 to 90% of the work you've done with Zapier Agents, Chatbots, and other AI automation and AI orchestration tools, and then integrate them directly to your website, to your app, and your online business activities. Thank you so much for watching, and click the link down below to try Zapier Agents for yourself today.